Is sugar vegan? Wait, sugar? Really? Is there anything that we don't try to shove animal parts in? Is nothing sacred anymore? Seriously. It's Emily from Bite Size Vegan, and welcome to another vegan nugget. The question of sugar's veganness is one that I've received many a time, especially recently. This concern usually comes from the already vegan conscious, because what non-vegan is checking into the potential animal ingredients in a seemingly un-animal-y thing, really? Well, the answer to this question is more complicated than a simple yes or no, as it depends on a number of factors. One of these is how you define the term vegan. If you are speaking purely from a food ingredient perspective, then yes, sugar is vegan. It does not contain animal products. However, if you are coming from a process perspective, then most commercial cane sugar is not vegan. That leads us to the second factor of determining the veganness of sugar, and that is the sugar's source. There are two sources of commercial sugar, sugar cane and sugar beets. Beet sugar is always vegan, but cane sugar is sometimes filtered through a substance called bone char. And just what is bone char? Well, it's literally the charred bones of animals. Cows in the case of the sugar industry. According to Jeffrey Robinson, the technical director of American Sugar Refining, to create bone char, bones are sun-dried and incinerated for 12 hours at more than 700 degrees Celsius. During the burning process, all organic material that may be present, including viruses, bacteria, and protein, is destroyed, leaving only an inert granular substance. That is 10% elemental carbon and 90% calcium hydroxyapatite. So why the heck are we using the charred bones of cows on our sugar? Well, for some reason we like our sugar to be white, and sugar naturally has a brown tint to it. So many decades ago, we clever humans devised a way to use the charred bones of animals to take the color out of sugar. Bone char acts like a crude filter and is most often used first in cane sugar filtering. It's what's called a fixed bed absorption filter and is the most efficient filter for removing colorants, most frequently amino acids, carboxylic acids, phenols, and ash. The sugar then passes through other filters during the refining process, like activated charcoal or an ion exchange system. So, just how much cow is in your sugar? Well, according to Paul Calkins, the corporate quality assurance manager of Imperial Savannah Foods, very little bone char can be obtained from a single cow, since only the dense bones of the animals, such as the pelvic bone, can be used. In fact, he says the average 1,500-pound cow will produce only 9 pounds of bone char. With additional figures from Calkins, Jean Yakubu, the research director of the Vegetarian Resource Group, ran some figures and concluded that the bones of almost 7,800 cattle are needed to produce the bone char for one commercial sugar filter. You can read through her calculations in her full article, which I've linked in the blog post for this video, which you can find in the video description below, along with other further resources on this topic. Now, as a quick note, it's important to acknowledge the environmental impact of the sugarcane industry. While I'm not going to go into an extensive breakdown, as that's another video entirely, the sugarcane industry, like any agricultural commodity, has led to water pollution from fertilizer and effluents, industrial waste, soil erosion and degradation, habitat loss, and the death of countless marine species. Some of the most biodiverse regions on the planet have been cleared for sugarcane production, particularly the threatened tropical ecosystems near the equator. A 2004 report from the World Wildlife Fund shows that sugar may be responsible for more biodiversity loss than any other crop. I've included a link to this full report and one from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations in the blog post for this video, which is again linked in the video description below. So, should vegans avoid sugar at all costs? Well, honestly, this depends on you. Personally, I believe that we should always be fully educated and aware of where our food comes from and how it is made, particularly when it is produced at the expense of others' lives. However, I would shy away from focusing on the bone char issue too intensely, and instead place my energy towards avoiding and eradicating the main animal products industry. When we are no longer slaughtering 150 billion sentient beings every year for our consumption, we won't be so pressed to find new and different ways to profitably use their byproducts. This is also my response for products that, while vegan ingredients-wise, will state that they were produced in a facility that processes milk, eggs, or some other animal product. The solution isn't necessarily boycotting these potential cross-contaminations. but stopping the dairy, egg, and meat industries as a whole. If we aren't senselessly killing animals and stealing their secretions, we won't have to worry so much about getting it in our food. In their extensive FAQ section, the nonprofit Vegan Outreach highlights the importance this focus has on creating new vegans, stating, "We recommend that vegans concentrate their attention on the most obvious animal ingredients and the true meaning of veganism. In our experience, concentrating on processing or trace ingredients can make a vegan diet appear exceedingly difficult and dissuade people from adopting it." Now, of course, this doesn't mean that we avoid confronting every aspect of the animal products industry and our continued exploitation of other beings, nor that we simply don't make any effort to eliminate products that aren't produced with compassion. I'm simply saying that our focus should be where we can make the greatest impact. Luckily, there are numerous sugar options that are 100% vegan. As I stated earlier, any beet sugar is always bone char free, as beet sugar requires a less intensive filtering process that never includes bone char. Unfortunately, most mainstream sugar industries will source part of their sugar from cane and part of their sugar from beets. However, all certified organic sugar does not utilize bone char, nor do natural raw sugars like turbinado sugar, such as sugar in the raw. It's important, however, to make the distinction that brown sugar is not the same as natural sugar. Commercial brown sugar is simply refined white sugar with molasses added for color and flavor. There are also sugar companies that on the whole do not use bone char. And of course, organic sugars are going to be using a more sustainable method of agriculture, not involving pesticides. Please refer to the blog post for this video linked in the video description below for a list of bone char free brands and other resources. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you avoid bone char derived sugar? Or is this not even something on your radar? Let me know in the comments. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and please do share it around to spread this education. To support educational messages like this, and to get access to behind-the-scenes action of Bite Size Vegan, join us in the Nugget Army over on Patreon. You can click on that logo or in the link on the video description below. If you're new here, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down there for more awesome vegan content every Monday, Wednesday, and some Fridays. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Now go live vegan, hit your sweet tooth ethically, and I'll see you soon. Pour some sugar on me, but only if it's vegan.